So, Tonya, what are the kinds of things you're looking at?
Well, what I typically try to do is I baseline someone, and what that simply means is I look for their truth signals, what is their normal reaction, and in order to get their lie signals, you take away the truth signals. Now have they deviated, and you could see when someone feels anxious, nervous, or is potentially being deceptive.
All right, let's look at some of the video that we have from last night's press conference of Alex Rodriguez. You really concentrate on his mouth, right?
Well, in this clip, I do two things. The mouth, I want you to watch his mouth. He tells you a lot with his mouth, but also see how his arms are closed? They're folded over, which is a closed off position, and his hand actually keeps twitching, which is a pacifying gesture. So here you recognize it's early on, he's pacifying himself. But if you're looking at the mouth, you see his mouth will tighten and clench, his jaw will clench, and those are not only signals of discomfort and anxiety, but also anger. So right there, when that lip compresses like that, yes, that's a sign of anger.
Now, what about the eyes? Are you looking at his eyes? He blinks a couple of times.
I do look at the eyes. He does not typically, I've baselined him before, he doesn't blink a lot. When he becomes anxious, you see more in the mouth. You'll see him do one-sided smirks. Here you'll see the lips tightening and clenching. But the one thing I did notice with the eyes is he had some truth signals, and that was the emphatic eyes. And when your eyebrows go up for just a short period of time, you're trying to be emphatic about something. And sometimes because it's natural, that's when you know it's a truth signal, versus when it stays up there and you recognize someone's trying to make you believe them.
So looking at that, what is your conclusion as to how he was behaving, what he was really feeling?
Smug, cocky, you know. He was definitely feeling nervous. You could tell that from the pacification, but you also know just by looking at the mouth movements that he still feels like he's one up.
Let's take a look and listen to a soundbite that came from that same press conference. This is revealing.
I've had 2 hip surgeries. I've had 2 knee surgeries. I'm fighting for my life. I have to defend myself. If I don't defend myself, no one else will.
Well, it sounds there as though he feels sorry for himself and he feels that he's the victim.
Yes. This is a big difference from conferences that we've seen in years past. In years past, he was much more arrogant, and his verbals as well as his nonverbals. Here you do see his eyes widen, which tells you that there's probably a little bit of fear, like he doesn't really know what's going to happen at the end of this. He's smiling a little bit, but I think that's more of a nervous smile. And then when you finally see at the end of this him say, you know, I have to look out for myself, you recognize he is trying to play that victim role.